Hello everyone, this is East Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we did not make it to tier 38 plus, mostly because we weren't running a bonus unit on offense, so everything basically had to be perfect, and as you can tell, it wasn't. But speaking of not perfect, somehow, somewhere, again this week, we ended up not locking our defense team, so once again, the skill sets change, I think, in the next replay. We're just going for our usual shenanigans here, nothing too special. Only thing to note really is Lift here with his turn 1 open the future if infantry pulse actually works. I guess if his skills work, because of course people are going to bring Elamine. But a big thing that's terrible about this defense is the threat range. The opponent can literally just set up all of their units in range to attack, except for, I guess, non-cav melee units, and then they can just go. So, what could possibly go? We're gonna start in with a huge gamble, because of course if that trap was actually real, Reagan would not have had a great time there. They don't have a dancer, so there would be no way for them to get out of there at that point. Here we get the mean reposition from Lift, so that legendary Nana can actually get dance and take out Shamir for our first kill. Both guys getting plus 19, but Shamir a little too slow for legendary Nana. And here, Naga has her extra dealt damage here, otherwise she actually would get one shot on the counter. Feels bad, man. Suggestion triangle still exists. But at this point, basically nothing's gonna happen because our skill sets, I think it's already messed up. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I ended up keeping some of the changes. I think one of them was legendary Luna. Plus because I was running her in arena, so arena scoring moment. But here, legendary Lilna can just pick off 4 non-range of bar save, so that's a free kill for us. And of course with our defense this week, because Lift is bonus and both Duma and Lift are plus 10, we can only lose at most 20 Lift on 10, which is great. Except for offense, where we basically just kept goofing. A couple of goofs were absolutely unnecessary, like forgetting how the order units would move in. Something simple as that. But I think the biggest thing that I'm still confused by, because I wasn't paying attention, but I set up a hit and run on a team where I calced out that legendary Julia, after 1 round KOing a hardy fighter Sacred Cowl Brave Vector, she took I think 9 damage from Brave Vector, and I calced out that she would survive by 1 HP against their Arvel, who would get danced. I predicted that perfectly fine, and then I was expecting the melee unit to move to get danced, and then nothing else happened over that. But I wasn't paying attention, and somehow, somewhere, their legendary Alm got danced and ended up nuking one of our units. I don't know what happened there. I don't remember. Because the thing is, legendary Alm he had reposition, so it's not like he had no assist. He just moved first and got danced. Chances are probably what happened is somehow he got to use his reposition and got danced. That would be my only guess. But because we weren't running a bonus unit on offense, those single unit losses definitely matter. Because that's effectively, well, it's not effectively, it is, minus 60 lift when we're doing a double match. And when we're only scoring plus 183 on offense, because again, no bonus unit, that's kind of a problem. Also, I think this is where some of the skill sets are slightly off. So, feels good. But as you can see here, they're just literally in our face. They can set up easily without pretty chill. I decided to leave Duma open for melee player phase books because he's okay if they have no way to one-shot him through his damage reduction, or
Keep playing.
I guess even attack him twice. And while surviving the counter is non-trivial, but it doesn't really do that much. As you can see here, our units are doing basically nothing. Because, well, we didn't have our right skill sets, but honestly it probably works out for the better because our defense is a meme anyways. I end up just surrendering here because, well, you can't really run from Legendary Lilna here with all their units, so it's kind of awkward. But yep, all we need is one kill, and that guarantees we don't lose any lift for that match. Which is super nice, except for the fact that our defense is a meme, and it's incredibly straightforward to full clear as long as you know what's going on. And if you have Elamine, it's even more trivial because you have a complete array of options for what you can not isolate. What's the word? Inflict false start on turn 1. So not entirely sure what our opponent is doing here. I'm guessing they were trying to snipe down Legendary Lilna, even though she doesn't even have her AoE special. She still can be a threat, but it's just pure attack at that point, and with their low HP stats here, it makes sense. Here they're going to take out Ascended View. I'm not too big of a surprise. He's not great at close range or 2 range. He's not good at melee range or even countering, dealing with range.
Step
I don't know what
aside.
the proper wording is for that. Not entirely sure why they use lethality on Olivia, but sure. Pretty sure the dancer is the least of your problems here. Everyone else has a better chance of picking up a kill than Olivia does. But here, looks like they're going to go after Heroes. And I'll get special at 1 cooldown, so should be able to take out Duma if they so choose. Pretty sure they could probably take out Legendary Lilna, but I guess more spooks about Duma because problem is, Lith and Legendary Lilna are still alive, so they took the kill on Lith, but they haven't cornered Legendary Lilna, so that's not gonna end well. Just a free kill for Legendary. I don't know, maybe I guess it would not be a trivial kill. And Legendary Lilna with dual cord. Does Lilna running good ol' attack res solo from Arena? Yeah. Okay, that's probably why, because 54 res is not terrible. Or, not great, but it's not terrible. So overall on offense, some key themes, Legendary Julia not having enough res, not a surprise, especially against units like Arval. You can easily beat Legendary Julia's res stat, especially since we're running, or when she's baiting enemy phase, we're running Mirror Impact and Null Follow-Up Seal. We definitely don't have a lot of res, so it just does not help. We would definitely need some other units to help out buff. Kaden paired with Mashera is a fantastic combo. Of course, Null Panic basically means Kaden is always going to be buffing his allies with these faces, unless feud exists or whatnot. But here they just end up dropping a unit here, and oh, that's a rip. And the thing there is that they even had double Elamine, so it's really... Here we just have duo spam, so I would be kind of disappointed if they would struggle here. You do not see Fury Desperation duo corn that often, but hey, it works. As long as you can set up, that's the problem here. At least they have the Duma chip damage for extra support for setting up. Now I think they only need 2 combats. Wait, do they need 3? I don't know. Testing out the trap makes sense. They're completely free to do that because we have basically no threat range at all. It's fantastic. So looks like they're going to not take out Ascended T-Horn, but I'm guessing they did this because they don't die, so that's a win, I guess. Sets up Fury Desperation. And okay, they get Thor in to take out Ascended T-Horn. Right. And now Dual Horn can just go on a rampage. I think the problem is positioning here, because how exactly they're going to spam out their duo skills. Like, I think that was a bit of an inaction. Pretty sure they haven't used their other duo skills, so they're missing out on an extra action.
Divine punishment.
I think. This is the problem with not having the animation stuff. You can't tell when they actually use them. So they are down 1 action, and that is 1 action too many here.
This is going to
Not sure why they had Thor initiate into Olivia. I guess that procs Steel Force. No, Thor can't possibly hope to survive, right? Well, I guess there is a chance she could survive into Olivia. And is that a gamble? I don't know. Not paying attention. Looks like because of the Fury Desperation, Unicorn's able to take out. Oh wait, never mind. I forgot. Legendary Lola goes already there.
We've been detected.
Whoops. Yeah, about that. That's awkward. Yeah, I think that was an oversight. I completely forgot about that too. She's actually... Wait, that's not even 25%. Wait a second. I'm pretty sure that's below 25%. Does the game just casually round up for us or something? I'm missing something there. I don't know. If you know what happened there in the comment section, let me know. I have no idea. Wait, I'm just facepalming so hard because I was looking at Legendary Lolna's HP stat after Duocorn's attacks. Yeah. Okay, makes sense now. The Hardy bearing was active. 10 out of 10. Did not pay attention for 2 seconds there. Okay. Well, somehow that comes in handy as a very strange tech. Very strange. But here we are once again up against a pretty reasonable team. Chances are they can probably just wall everything with Dual or Young Mia. That's not Dual Mia. Dual Mia doesn't exist yet. Same difference. Here, Duma, of course, is not going to be able to deal with damage reduction. But they're just going to go in aggressive. They already know that. What is it called? Hex Trap is not real, so they can go ahead and get away with that. Pretty heavy damage onto Young Mia, but not enough to kill. And yeah, Heal Force going, so the Heal Force strength keeps going. Easy one shot on Theros. And with Regan's Canto, that's
I don't think so.
Lolna. I did intentionally do this, but of course, in theory, they could just also take off what's in Legendary Lolna and then leave Olivia last. The only problem with that is, of course, if you're trying to grab the ether structures, you have to make sure not everyone kills, and of course that the unit can survive. They had Elamine and Jaren with damage reduction and whatnot, so it probably would have been pretty reasonable to still sweep anyways, especially since we literally give a free spot for melee engagement. And here we have Bride Fjorm isolating Ascended Fjorm. I don't know. At least they're using Elemi in column 2. Pretty popular column, of course. It shuts down Legendary Lilna's AoE special, which is pretty relevant, I would say. Got the chip damage going, and of course Legendary Lilna is going to basically ting into Brave Dimitri, I would imagine. Or just straight up ding. Figured as much. Oh yeah, right. I was doing the I did the math backwards. Wrong amount of damage reduction. So yeah, that's definitely a ting. Another ting as well. I just the power of combining percent base damage reduction with that fixed flat damage reduction, whatever the heck you want to call it. Combining the two, and they also have Elamine here, so you're really cutting down into that. And here,
I will
Brave
protect my
Dimitri,
people.
preventing Legendary Mana from even doubling there. Pretty solid.
I will get what I
And of
want.
course, it's an easy thing. Just a straightforward wall,
Out of the
nothing
way.
too mind-blowing here. Just some solid bulk, and nothing we can really do about it. I wonder, let me think,
I
Arval
will
would
protect my
probably
people.
not do particularly well as well. Just because basically all he has is damage output. Having enough attack will get you the kill against Brave Dimitri, but you do need a massive amount of attack. I don't think Arval
By
can
my
get there.
father's lands.
You really have to hard tech for feud skill, I think, to get the most mileage in that matchup. But Arval is definitely a struggle for us this season. Legendary Julia occasionally could barely survive an attack from him, and that's already not a good sign. And of course, he has absolutely no
This
damage
battle is
reduction
over.
against him because she has less res. 10 out of 10. And here we have a good old squad of dragons and a unit that slays dragons. And then some mythics. Seems fine, conceptually, of course. If you can get Brave Mark to work, he works alright. Problem is, one, he doesn't have any checks against damage reduction. And two, he's heavily reliant on allies. So, in this particular team, you don't have safe support, so if anything goes awry, yeah, that's not going to end particularly well, but there's already no AoE on Legendary Lilna. That would have been absolutely disastrous against Mark here. But
Victory is ours.
here it works out for them because, again, they ended up disabling our turn 1. I was about to say open the future, gifted magic.
A single
Maybe
strike.
her remix will allow her to always recharge her special at the start of the turn. That would be nice. That's definitely something she's missing out on right now in this meta. But here
Believe in me.
is Vantage Shenanigans. He's able to cheese out those kills, and well, at this point there's really nothing we can do because everyone's super isolated from each other, and they can just take out Legendary Nana here. Not known for her ult, so not a surprise. At least she avoids the double, which isn't really saying much. And
Victory
here
is
they're
ours.
just going to obliterate Ascended Bjorn because what the heck is she going to do? And now they can just reposition and are all good to go, even if Lift can move 2 spaces to the left, which if you understand how the AI works, that's
Victory
what's
is
not
ours.
happening there. Then still would be fine because Brave Mark would have his Vantage and would easily one-shot Lift on the counter, or on the Vantage attack. So now all that's left is the infrastructure should be super easy to get. They can just run around Olivia all day long. In fact, they're actually going to attack into Olivia, the chicken. Not going to pick up the kill, but... Oh, actually there's Iceberg, never mind. I forgot about phase, it's fine. Special acceleration, 10 out of 10. Not a surprise though, we have another player face oriented team, but they also have their duo Duma for some support. Definitely going to be fine against our team as long as they don't throw. That's pretty much the story of everything here. As long as they don't throw, we'll be fine. So here our opponent just hits end turn, and if you figured it out already, they completely forgot that Duma got his remix with Upheaval Plus to destroy the nearest offensive structure. So since these are unbreakable structures, the next closest one is unfortunately their safety fence, and Legendary Nana gets to kill her.
I've been made
That's
a fool.
unfortunate. I definitely would make a mistake like that myself if I actually used safety fence, which we don't even have it built, so that's not a thing. But I gotta say, Ether Raids definitely. I guess there's a reason I nickname it Ether Raids, because all we do is move around in the mode. This defense is not that great. It's just a mishmash of units that can kinda do damage, but not really. And it still gets some wins because people sabotage themselves. That's pretty much the name of the game. Okay, they're gonna go for a turn 1 snipe down on Legendary Lilna, which is definitely an option, but definitely not a common option. It should be fine in general though, because all they really have to worry about at this point is Legendary Nana, and probably can deal with that. Especially now that she's overextended. Should be an easy kill, although this is actually kind of barely a kill. So, feels sad man for Yuri, not able to double, the classic. Here, the only thing they have to worry about is nothing, because I would hope that rearmed Robin, aka Dreamer, would be able to handle our units here. Otherwise, that would definitely be pretty sad. She definitely can struggle to Legendary Nana though, especially if Legendary Nana is doubling. But that's one of her gimmicks, is she just stacks all stats across the board except HP. So, I guess to be fair, Arcane Dreamer can get refines for that extra nice plus 5 HP, so that's definitely helpful, but she's essentially just stacking stats and being able to debuff those by 8 to all stats, if I remember correctly, is pretty strong, because sometimes there's always trade-offs between buffing your own stats and debuffing the foe's stats, but generally I prefer debuffing the foe's stats. There's generally almost never any drawback to that, except for if you're getting close to, if you're trying to work with the suggestion triangle to get as much damage as you can, it's more advantageous, of course, to buff your own attack rather than to debuff your opponent's defense or res by the same amount. And of course, we're just saying that generally there are niche instances where absolutely nothing happens to, or what I should say is there's some instances where increasing your attack by 1 does not increase your attack more than one after factoring in weapon triangles, but that's a side point. Here our opponent is doing things with their triple dancers, Yuri and Duo Corn. Again, here they got the free turn 1 snipe, because this time around safety fence didn't go down, so should be easy cruising at this point. Here Yuri unable to kill in classic Yuri fashion, but now he gets his AoE up and he's fine. That still only does 10 damage. I guess it doesn't help that with the run and attack defense unity, so the dagger debuff actually was buffing his defense. The one exception to Dagger Diva.
Your life is forfeit!
I guess the one main one there. There are some other niche instances, like activating
Orin's
the
the coolest.
possibility for the AI to use something like Harsh Command Plus. That's also a thing that would not be possible. Or something like proccing Sarah's Kia staff on that unit. There's a bunch of niche instances where it does matter, but at this point, should be able to cruise to victory here. Well, there's an easy kill for Yuri, and you can snipe down the ether structure, and it looks like they're just gonna wait. I'm not sure if they just wanted to be safe about it, or if they actually couldn't pick up the kill. But from the looks of it, they just wanted to break all the structures and activate all the traps. And call it a day after that, which is perfectly fine. I personally like not activating any of the traps because to me it's just a BM for they're completely useless. It's almost like they weren't even there kind of a deal. Because activating them, I mean, you just plop your unit on the tile. It's not mind-blowingly difficult. But with that, overall, not too bad on defense. We definitely got pretty fortunate early on to not get a ton of losses, but of course we're not staying in Vault. Next season is Chaos season though, so it's gonna be pretty bad for us. The thing I notice here though is Legendary Martha's bonus under Infantry School bonus, so I'm sure a billion people are going to use them. I might end up using them too as a kill option for some common meta units that are run on Chaos season. Because of course with Binding Shield 2, you can definitely prevent some counterattacks. Allegiance battles. This is our, of course, highest scoring squad, and barely top 200. Seems okay. In Arena, we can stay. It's just that I figured might as well not, because we have absolutely nothing for next season. So we would be dropping out next season, and I would rather give myself an easier time the following season, or I'd rather go back into 21 next season rather than the season after. It doesn't actually matter functionally, it's more of just from the scoring side of things. I don't know what we're going to have 2 seasons from now, so I can guarantee based on next season that we can get back into 21 kind of a deal. And if you didn't notice, of course, I did not have any time to actually record our duels are match comment. I didn't have time to record the duels are records replays with actual commentary. All I have to say is that we were not trying at all. It was super late, absolutely brain dead. I just slapped basically the same team together, and I think it was the exact same team just with reordered unit slots, and we just chose Eminence because I figured the other 2 probably aren't going to be useful to us because +6 to all stats is not helping any of our units enough to be worth the slot. So one of our big issues, if you notice from the replays, was we had no techs against Brave Celev, and just in general super high mobility melee units. And of course Ascended Fjorm, pretty garbo at dealing with Summer Claude. I was literally just flinging my units wherever and trying to get an attack off when I could. That was basically it. Very little thought put into the actual matches. And well, of course, as you would have seen from that video, we ended up a bit outside top 1k. I think our final rank was a bit under rank 1200. So yeah. Chances are we probably would have made top 1k if we stopped playing after our first win. But of course, we're not optimizing the mode, we're just goofing off, so we just play till we're out. Till we can't play anymore, so that's what happens. I don't actually know where we're gonna start next season, so that'll be interesting. But anyways, enough ranting, we'll be back when the results drop in.